Hey, how's it going?
Hey everybody, Renee and Jen here, Marriage Plus Business. It is March 24th, I think today,
2020.
2020.
And what a month.
Yeah, let's just kind of we'll work our way backwards, or work from the beginning of
Yeah,
the
the
last
beginning of the
episode.
month.
So anyway, I'll let Jen kick it off because we traveled to Vision
We've been on the road a lot. We went
in
to Vision
Kansas.
in Kansas City. It was Renee's very first time going. Vision Conference is the largest and most amazing automotive, technical, and management training conference in the country. And it's where I got to see a lot of my friends and my clients and other industry leaders. And Renee finally got a chance to place faces to all these voices he's been hearing on the phone and people that I've been talking about. So
Yep,
that was super awesome.
it was, yeah, and it
Yeah,
was also good to be able to get out of the normal, you
the
know,
normal
the
routine
normal
of
routine
working from
because
home.
it was
Yeah,
going to be a pretty travel filled couple of weeks.
yeah,
We'll get into that later, but yeah,
yeah,
I enjoyed Vision,
yeah.
which was like Jen said, the first time I went, but it was also a good time to um, to go out and kind of see different parts of the world. I'm not as well traveled as Jen, so this is my first time to Kansas. So I enjoyed meeting the people. I did not actually partake in any of the classes or workshops since
I
I
did.
wasn't actually. Uh, we didn't. I just didn't do that. But I was able to socialize.
Yeah.
Was able to meet in person a lot of Jen's clients, or a good handful of them, and was able to go out and check out some different types of food,
Mm-hmm.
which was nice to
Mm.
part of the social experience, but also part of being able to get a taste of some of the Kansas City cuisine.
Oh, Kansas City barbecue.
Barbecue, yeah,
So
yeah.
good.
Burnt
Burnt ends.
ends,
Oh,
yeah, good stuff.
oh
So,
yeah.
so that was a fun trip. That was a quick. It was a hot minute. It was a quick
It
weekend.
was a 4 day event for us, but it was super. It was so full of information and networking and getting together with everybody that it was like super fast. And
Yeah.
then we were home for 1 day, and I went to a dinner party at Gabriella and Carlos Forte's home, where we celebrated the full moon. And Gabriella is a trained chef. She is a wonderful human being. She and her husband are very generous to invite people over to their home in the Carmel Highlands. We were both going to go, but then Renee wasn't feeling so well.
So I stayed home and did the right thing by
Did the
not
right
showing
thing.
up and potentially,
Yeah, getting anyone sick.
yeah.
So I went and I had a good time. And then Tuesday, the 10th of March, we went to Florida. As you know from previous uh, Marriage Plus Business blogs, my father has been ill, and we went to be by his bedside, and he did indeed pass away on St. Patrick's Day. He is no longer trapped inside of his body. He is now passed on to a higher place, and you know what? He is resting in peace, and we're all happy because he just was not having a quality of life. So it was really powerful and wonderful that we were there for a full week with him. We had friends joining us, family joining us. We had a lot of people there loving on him and supporting him. And then he passed away on St. Patrick's Day. And I told a little story on Facebook how when I was a little girl, he would call me his Jenny Penny, and I would call him my Daddy Patty. And it was on St. Patrick's Day that he passed, so I thought that was kind of bittersweet and kind of fitting that my Daddy Patty passed away on St. Patty's Day. So kind of worked. So rest in peace, Larry Filzen. Anyway, and then after that, we are in the midst of the COVID-19 crisis where the pandemic is trying to be flattening the curve. There's so many linguistic things that are like trending with this pandemic.
Oh yeah, that's kind of
People
like
want to flatten the curve and do shelter in place and social distancing, and which is going to get us into our theme for today in a minute, which is going to be connection. But we're going to talk about the human connection. But so anyway, here we are. Renee and I go to Florida. We go see the family. We see my father. Hats off to the care facility where he's in hospice, because they're being very, very strict about who can come into the facility, because they didn't want to risk the COVID virus coming anywhere close to the patients or the staff. And hats off to them. They did a great job. Every single time that we showed up, they took our temperatures. They asked us questions about where we've been, checked to see how we were feeling. And we had minor colds, but ultimately, because Daddy was end of life, we were very honored, and I felt the love that we were allowed to be with him during his end of life period.
Right, because of
nobody else was allowed in unless it was an end of life situation.
due to the COVID-19.
We were very, very fortunate. And then anyway, so there was that. And then we spent the rest of the week, the 17th through the 23rd, with my mother and our friends and family members, and just kind of
isolated.
Stayed
Sheltered
socially
in
distant,
place.
but still connected with everyone. And then we were very fortunate that we could fly home, which was another cause for concern, because a lot of travel is being reduced and flights were being canceled. And we found affordable tickets like the next day after Daddy's death. We were able to sign up for very affordable one-way tickets. So
that's right, yeah.
So
things are really like, it was kind of...
It was a miracle. We had a whole series of miracles.
It was also very, what's the word? Just bizarre going to the airport in Jacksonville.
Very bizarre. Almost an empty airport. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we first got to the airport. Your mother dropped us off. It was really early. It's like 6 a.m., 6:30.
It wasn't that early, but it was early.
Well, when we got there.
Yeah.
So when we got there, like...
There were more staff members than passengers.
It seemed like there were like more people. Like she went to get something at Starbucks, and I went to get like a little muffin sausage egg thing at Burger King, and there were like more employees.
Yeah, more employees than
security,
passengers.
like TSA people sitting and eating.
Yeah.
Before we, finally went to the line and did our check-ins and whatnot. But yeah, it was just eerie just to see that, because it's like an airport of this size for this large city,
with
like
so few people
no one
in it.
practically in it.
And then we landed in Denver to transfer flights, and
bizarre.
Denver was a little more normal. It was like light traffic, but it wasn't like empty. So that was midday. We were very lucky. But then when we got on the plane for Monterey, there were only 7 passengers. So that was kind of cool. Like, we felt like we were first class.
Like in first class.
And we got to know Maria. Shout out to Maria, who is a Guamanian, and she works for United Airlines, and she spent some time chatting it up with us. Lovely lady.
She had so much time because there was so
little
few
to do.
passengers on the plane. So.
Right? So we had a lovely trip talking to her.
Bags upon bags of pretzels.
Right? She was very sweet. So anyway, it's been a crazy 3 weeks of March 2020. But you know what?
I found some time to do some work.
We got a lot of work done. And human connection.
And human connection is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Because this isolation isolation or shelter in place order, that's, I'm sure,
and social distancing
is in effect
quarantines
nowadays, or at least as of this video taping.
Yeah.
Kind of puts you in a mode where you're at first probably a little like stunned.
Yeah.
Don't know what to do with yourself. And so it's kind of hard. So then I think as a result, we're getting to see a lot of people starting to kind of just talk and reach out via social media. Connection. Which is like pretty interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And I see I want to use the thread of human connection throughout the entire first 3 weeks, because it's what really resonates with me right now. First off, I am a social animal. To be cooped up in the house and not getting out socially kind of drives me a little crazy. This one, however, he's an artist. He is so ready for this type of isolation. Like,
I'm
happy
like,
man.
Lock me away, draw. I'm hungry. DoorDash. See you in 20 minutes.
Right?
Take my money.
Let me draw.
Go back to drawing.
Uninterrupted.
But my social dance life is
very little dancing.
Well, we're fortunate in a way. We have our garage we can dance in, and we have each other. But
our dance studio garage.
But we're In fact, that's probably like our only form of one of the very few forms of exercise. If it isn't that, or
Going for
we
walks.
can go to the walk and do some push-ups
Yeah.
here on the floor. I got some dumbbells I can work out with. Yeah, getting back to this whole like isolation, shelter in place, it makes you just kind of think about the different ways that we maybe take for granted how connected we are because we're just all moving around doing things. That's a form of connection. But like when you're isolated and you're reaching out, it makes you stop and think, right?
It really does. It really does. And so here are the touch points that I'm thinking of for like these 3 weeks. So Vision did something new this year. They had an app that they wanted to use with all of the attendees, and that app was called Socio, Socio, Socio app, and I loved it. And let me tell you why. What was so cool about the Socio app is Vision did a very good job before any of us even showed up. It said, hey, look, the schedule and the entire agenda and everything that you need to know about Vision is going to be on this app. Go ahead and download it now. So then that way you already have it loaded and ready to go when you get to Vision. And the evaluation sheets for each class that we took was in Socio, and so I could do an online evaluation of each class that I took. But I could also see all of the class attendees that were there with me. That was like gold, because how often are you in a classroom of people that you want to connect with, but if they don't have business cards or if you don't have that ability to connect with them prior to the class ending, then you've lost that opportunity to make a connection. And not only was I able to connect and request friends with the people who were in my classes, I could also connect with all of the attendees that went to Vision. So I could request friend access on Socio with everything. And I was loving that because we could also message each other. Like I'm meeting people I had never met before Vision, and we're getting to know each other at Vision, and now we're like making good connections. And then I was able to, gold mine here for a marketer, I was able to download an Excel file with all of those contacts so I could put it into my Infusionsoft. Hey, so if you're putting together an event, use Socio. I really liked it. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty danged amazing, and everyone was very good about sharing their contact information. So that was an incredible way to connect, because when you go to an event and you may know some people, but not everybody, but you want to get to know everyone and you don't have a booth and you can't be everywhere always, man, it was just so great connecting with people. And then the other connection points were when we got to Florida, well, even when I went to the little dinner party in Carmel Highlands at the Fortes home, it was just so nice. Whenever I break bread with people, I just feel like a deeper connection with them, because when you break bread with people, you're sharing who you are, you're sharing stories. It may or may not be about work. It could be about life. It could be about philosophy. It could be about fun little vignettes and stories and hobbies and what have you. And it's just, I just love going to social events where I'm able to connect and meet other people. It's just where I'm happy. And then we go to Florida, and my best friend in the whole world, Jennifer Barnes, was there to be with us at Daddy's end of life. And that meant the world to me. And we also reconnected with a lot of really old friends from high school. So shout out to all the Chris's, Chris Hooker, Christine Alfson Ship, Christian Ship. And then we also saw Doug Thompson and his family. And just, it was so great connecting with people I've shared memories with over a 30-year span of friendship, and that Renee is friends with everybody. And then of course the family gatherings, and considering that we were all supposed to be isolated, we had quite a bit of family time because the isolation requirements were not quite set in place yet. They were saying, well, just be careful, but we got a lot of social time. But when you are in a position where you are saying goodbye to your father, it is it's just so important and so loved when you are surrounded by the people that you care about the most. So that really comforted me, and Renee and I were supposed to fly back home on the 17th of March, which was actually the day that Daddy passed. We decided as a couple that we were going to stay until the end, and we didn't know when that end would be. So we were very fortunate that when we made the decision to stay, that Daddy's passing was that same day, and I'm
Yeah.
so glad
Yeah, I
we
like.
stayed and we were there
It was
for
important to
him.
be there.
Yeah, because I didn't want to leave my father,
You didn't want to leave your father, and I didn't want to leave you,
and I'm
so
glad he didn't leave me because I needed him.
it also was like a matter of like the circumstances of what was going on between like, you know, the shelter in place orders and, you know, what was happening with international travels, and like would anything happen to domestic travel.
Yeah.
So air flight. So excuse me, there were a number of reasons.
Yeah.
The most important being to stay with your family, and then on top of that, all this other stuff that's happening right now.
Yeah.
So I figured it's better to be together
Yeah.
again, that connection,
And I'm so grateful.
than being apart and
Yeah.
wondering. You might be able to know what's going on via online or phone, but like it's different when you're
There.
yeah, and it's
Experiencing it.
more. You just feel like at least whatever's happening, you're together.
Yeah.
Whether it's you know up here good or here or whatever, it's just like at least you're in it together.
Yeah.
So
And
last
I'm
thing I want is to be
so
separated.
grateful. Well, and also too, I'm just so glad that you decided to stay, because I was planning. I didn't know when Daddy was going to pass, and I was just preparing. Like, okay, Renee, you go home, you take care of the cat, deposit our mail with checks, and like keep the household going, because we're not prepared to just not be at home ever again. You know what I mean? Like we were only planning on being gone for a week. So the plan was, okay, you go ahead and run the household while I'm taking care of my mother and everything and whatever needs to happen. And then as things continue to change, yeah, you were my hero for staying. Thank you, baby.
It worked out.
It worked out beautifully. And then and then shout out to American Airlines as well. God bless these people. You know, all this travel cancellation stuff was happening, and they canceled our original flight and rescheduled it, and then we were like, well, we don't really want to leave just yet. What are our options? And shout out to American Airlines, because they gave us a partial refund on our plane ticket costs.
That was due to them canceling it and rescheduling it.
It was
right?
it was their thing, but like it just worked out, and it was a nice little money miracle to be refunded a small amount of money, which really helped us buy the next set of one-way tickets to fly from Jacksonville to Monterey. So I have nothing but great things to say about American Airlines and United Airlines for what they've done for us and making sure that we got home safely, and that we got home affordably, which was really, really nice. Because, you know, normally whenever you buy a ticket last minute, it's expensive. Well, because of this COVID-19 crisis.
And then the lack of travel, people canceling.
Yeah.
They probably just want to get
people home.
Just, you know, salvage, maybe keep the air fuel, you know, the airplane fuel.
But yeah, and the human connection, like, honestly, I know you know this, and I'm sure that they've heard me say this a million times, but I just love you so much, and the fact that you stuck with me throughout all this uncertainty. I mean, there was so much going on that we didn't really know what was going to happen, and we were always safe. We were always taken care of. We were with family or staying at family lodging whenever we were there. I mean, we were definitely cared for. We were definitely not stranded tourists. Like, we were amongst family the entire time.
Yeah,
and
we were
friends.
just going between two places, really.
Yeah,
and if you count
my cousin's condo at the beach,
your mom's
which was
house.
very gracious. Thank you, Marjorie, for letting us borrow that. Because again, we were sick, right? And we didn't want to get near Grandma, who's 96. We didn't want to get near Grandma, who's 95. We couldn't stay with Mother and Daddy, you know, because Daddy was in the hospice, and Mother. It was just like, okay, we'll stay at the beach.
There was a lot going on. And timing was.
Yeah. Timing was amazing.
Essence.
Yeah, timing was definitely of the essence.
Yeah.
It was interesting. We did before we weren't allowed to go out anymore. Just before, like a couple days before the whole like bars are closed, everything is closed. We were able to go and make new friends in Flagler Beach. We went to Finn's, which is on the corner of State Road 100, which is Moody Road, and A1A, right there in the heart
That
of
was
Flagler
fun.
Beach. And Finn's
was-
is a really nice little bar, restaurant, venue that had live music. And so we did get to dance.
We did do some dancing. We
We
danced
got some
one night
dancing in.
up on the
Upstairs
outdoor
to salsa
deck
music.
to Latin music, and then the
We're
next
cool with that.
night we danced to like
Downstairs to a live band.
live band playing, you know,
Blues.
classic rock type music.
Yep, we danced to that.
So
So
we got some fun in, because I think after that, like that
Then
Monday, that
everything
Tuesday,
was done.
and then I think it was the 17th or the 18th when a lot of these shelter in place
Yeah,
orders were being given by different
like you
you
can't
know,
leave your house kind of
country
thing.
states.
Or
So-
we discourage you from leaving.
Yeah, and then the whole gathering in groups of no more than what, 10
Yeah.
or 5 or
So we had to
whatever.
cancel our upcoming monthly dance. And,
Right, that's right.
And that's the other thing. Okay, so here's another thing about human
Talk about
connection
connection.
that I found to be very, very fascinating in these times. So a lot of West Coast swing dance conventions have been canceled, as are other events. I mean, a lot of people that I know who are doing public speaking and trainings and all kinds of like in-person events, like off the table conferences, conventions, no longer, like from mid-March on to like May. Like
Right.
there's a lot of things affected.
And
Poor
just to-
people like losing out on all kinds of money. Oh my
Right.
God.
And just to back up a little bit, we're heavily into dancing, and we mentioned that
West
earlier.
Coast swing, yeah.
West Coast swing dancing. So, but we also have our own dance business.
Yeah.
So we have monthly dances, and we also teach private lessons too. So all of that
Off the table.
totally, like, you know, it's got to be put on the. It's on hold.
Right.
Everything's on hold right now.
Right.
You can't do anything that involves probably nothing more than you and your significant other, or whatever group of people you normally live with, whatever that
Right.
situation
Essential
is.
businesses.
Yeah,
Essential
so,
businesses. Yeah.
Like the whole connection, like that's one
Yeah.
one more form of connection that's been removed.
Broken.
Yeah.
Musicians can't play their music. People cannot gather in bars. This is weird. Like we've never seen this kind of stuff ever happen in the United States to this level. And what's really interesting is so many of the people whose full professions are based upon the ability to teach dance. Like that's our hobby that pays for itself. We've got the marketing agency. We're fine. But like our friends who are professional dancers, they can't perform.
Mhm.
They are going online and they're teaching. There's this cooking group which was is being led by Heather Powers Rutledge, who's a fellow dancer, a beautiful ballet dancer who's just an amazing West Coast swing dancer, and she also is a trained chef. And so she's like, hey, let's call this group Cooking in the Time of COVID, and let's everyone share our recipes, because if we're going to hunker down and be at home, let's connect through food. And I kid you not, I feel like I have gained 15 pounds just looking at this feed of all these recipes and food porn of everyone's food. Like, it's really amazing. But like, it's really changing how everything is going in such a short amount of time. Like, people are finding entertainment online, Facebook Live videos of like, I've seen Neil Diamond and John Legend and Coldplay and other artists that I enjoy listening to. The Tonight Show Home Edition, Trevor Noah Home Edition, Jimmy Kimmel Home. It's like crazy how people are continuing to create content. They're just doing it in a different form, and you can sign up for like Chantel Pianetta's ballet classes. You pay $10 and then you have access to her teaching you how to do some ballet basics. And if you don't have a ballet bar at home, like the suggestion is, like hold on to the handle of your oven or something like that. I mean, I don't even have an oven that would allow me to do that, but like, just maybe I could do it on the back of the couch. But the point is like, it's just so fascinating seeing how many online things are coming up, and it's like, wow, I spent all that time creating my online courses about marketing. Now is the time to promote the crap out of them, because a lot of people could not come and
That's true.
see me teach marketing in person at this time. So you might as well get me online. So and then are you seeing a difference in how you're connecting with people with your art online?
Um, I've kind of, I mean, it's just been my own thing to just, build up my interaction and involvement with social media just in general.
Uh-huh.
But it's just something that you become more aware of because of the lack of
Right.
being able to go out and do things. I mean, in the artist community, one of the things I'm seeing a lot of with my particular field that I'm most interested in, and art is a pretty deep, you can drill down pretty deep and just get into lots of different types of it. But just for who the kind of work I do, um, there are a lot of artists that depend on going to conventions
Oh yeah.
throughout the year,
Those poor folks.
and like any other profession that requires you making contact and interacting with people to either conduct business or find business, when you're told to stay home and isolate,
And you're counting on like
you can't really do
$25,000
anything.
worth of
Yeah.
sales for that
So,
particular event to get you through the quarter. That's rough.
well, I see a lot of artists going online, like our dancer friends who are doing similar things, even if it's to just
Connect.
and create an online presence that otherwise would not be there because, well, they do have a pretty good online presence, but like because they can't actually go out and see the people they normally would, en masse at a
Right.
convention, especially if they're going to like one every month, then I think you're going to see a lot of them stepping up the amount of content or
Yeah.
live events that they put on just to maintain like a facsimile of all that,
Mm-hmm.
creating this connectivity
Mm-hmm.
minus the actual in-person connection.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of that. It all depends on how this all plays out, right? We could be in this for the next couple of weeks or months. Who knows, right?
It's
so
so hard to tell.
We're all just kind of taking it one step at a time, day by day, kind of like back when we were in Florida. A lot of things that were just
In flux.
we didn't have control of what was happening. So it's kind of like
Just go with the flow.
your steps are just kind of like you move one direction.
It's a cha-cha.
Yeah, exactly. Forward,
step-
backward, left, right.
Right?
But I mean, what can you do? But just kind of stay informed and being able to roll with
Right.
things. Yeah, and
Right.
pivot.
Exactly, and pivot. And in continuing this vein of connection, I'm seeing, especially in the last week, so I've had a lot of my clients who are mostly auto repair shops. I would say 85% of my clients are auto repair shops, and then other industries, financial, dentistry, services,
Fitness.
wines, fitness. They're the other aspect of my business. So I serve all industries, but let's just say auto repair is the dominant. Now, let me tell you, it has been really interesting because auto repair is deemed an essential business. Because if you still need to get to your work, if you still need
You need to go out and buy food.
Get to the hospital, whatever it is that you need to do, you need your car to work. And so we have been connecting and pushing out the message for all of my auto repair shop clients. Hey, we're open for business. If you want to minimize your impact of exposure to other people, a lot of them are offering free pickup and delivery. They are doing extra measures to keep the car as clean and sanitized as possible in these certain situations. So they're going above and beyond, a lot of them, to make certain that people are comfortable, that they know that they're being cared for and welcomed. Because let's face it, if you don't have anything going on, now's the perfect time to get your car fixed. Because how often do we put that off because we're so busy, right? So I have been going the extra mile myself, just helping them with like, okay, here are some social media posts that we can produce and put out there. Here's an email that you might want to send to your clients. Here's a template for this. Here's a template for that. Here's a heart-lifting story about what's going on and how we can look at the positive. So it is so important, whether you're just at home alone and you want to connect with your friends, or if you're a business owner and you want to connect with your community and your client base, human connection, even if it is online, is so, so, so important. Because whether you're an introvert or an extrovert or somewhere in between, we all do need each other. It's an intra-dependency, an intra dependency. Like when you're into. I was just reading the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People by Stephen Covey, and I was reading the second chapter, or the second habit, where there's dependence on each other, and then there's independence, where you're independent, you can stand on your own. But then the third higher level is interdependence, where yes, you can stand on your own, but we recognize that we all are connected together, and that together we help each other out, and we are bigger and stronger together. And so my thought that I want to leave with everybody is, we are all in this together. I'm super lucky that I have you and that I'm in this with you, and
I'm lucky too.
And I'm just so happy that, like, this is my superhero that I get to stick it out with in isolation and on our own private dance floor, and through times of joy and sadness.
It's true.
And life and death.
Back,
Yeah.
It's 2 ways.
Yeah, and we want to. I know that we're talking to a camera and that you're not physically here, but when we're giving our message to you, I really feel like you're with us, and I hope that you know that we are here with you, and that if you want to connect with us, please do, because you may not be here in our physical living room right now with us at this second, and I can't exactly touch you. Virtual hugs, by the way, social distancing. But the point is that we really want to connect with you. And thank you for paying attention to what we have to say and for sharing our journeys and adventures with us.
Yeah, I think with that, we'll see what else happens in the coming weeks with this pandemic that's going on right now, and just kind of roll with it and adjust and pivot.
Yeah.
And just try to remain connected.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm Jen.
Thanks for watching. I'm Renee. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right. Bye.